Hello, good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker. Tonight we are rolling into our 21st season of Red Barn Radio, and we welcome you to show number 789. Put on your seatbelts, folks, because tonight we've got Louisville Newgrass Fusion Jam Band Hot Brown Smackdown in the house. Their fusion of jam and funk and bluegrass has been drawing crowds all summer at music festivals, and their fan base continues to grow every time they play. They've also been writing some new music for their soon-to-be-finished new album. They just shared recently their amazing new tune, Empire, recorded at Louisville's Deadbird Studio with engineer Tom Curtis. Hey, and get this, it's the first music release from the group since violinist Ellie Ruth Miller, to my right, joined the band. Welcome Hot Brown Smackdown to Red Barn Radio.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Hot Brown Smackdown. Our guest this evening is a six-piece newgrass fusion ensemble from the great city of Louisville, Kentucky. You are going to enjoy their groovy high energy. These players are Arthur Geisler on drums and lead vocals, Ellie Ruth Miller on violin, Pat Schuring on mandolin and vocals, John Blum on banjo and dobro, Anthony Lee on guitar, and Justin Cecil on bass guitar. Glad you're here with us tonight for an evening of music and conversation with Hot Brown Smackdown.
Cannot place. Should the need arise, avert your eyes. Word to the wise, you mustn't deny our disguise. Try as you might, you in my book, see, we could aspire, set the world on fire. Again and again, we'll all give in to my empire. Stuck inside my space, shadows grow long like the lines upon my face. Why do I try to apply the sense I've made if it doesn't my book sea. We could aspire, set the world on fire. Again and again, we'll all give in to my. Stuck inside my space. Shadows grow long like the lines upon my face. Try as you might, you will be a worthy entry in my book sea. We could aspire, set the world on fire. We'll all give in to my empire.
Yeah.
Middle is like way up.
Way up and just. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, but it's got it.
Okay. Can you turn it back down in the ear, or just like what? It's a little
And it's
too.
thin. It's like one-legged. Well, I can bring the pregame down.
That's better. Yeah. Hopefully it's not gonna jump around again. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Okay. Eyes wide.
You want to introduce this one?
This is one we wrote fairly recently. It's called Eyes Wide. It started from an idea that Pat brought to the table, and we just sort of hot browned it, made it our own. comes up, I'm walking on the moon. By the time it goes down, I'll just be passing through.
this moment I'll stand on my own 2 feet, aiming for where the stars and the planets meet. Slowing it down, defying space and time, losing the found, head hazy, eyes wide, tearing it down, the lines that fall between, breaking the seams, head hazy, eyes wide, slowing it down, defying space and time, losing the found. Take my consciousness apart one by one. Separate what I've lost and what I should have won. Start a fire and lay back to watch it burn. Throw inside all the things that you'd wish you'd learned.
What? Wow. I wasn't prepared. No, there's so much going on up here, and it's just so much fun. I hope you guys are having the good time that we are. Our band this evening on Red Barn Radio is Hot Brown Smackdown. They're from Louisville, as I told you before, and we're going to talk to everybody up here, but I want to start maybe at the center, which is you, Arthur. Did you form this group?
I did not, actually. Me and Anthony joined about 2 years after they formed. Yeah, we were kind of late coming in. Patrick and John and Justin were part of the original group.
No, I don't know why that surprises me, but I'd like to hear from any one of you. Maybe Patrick. I wonder, Patrick, would you mind going to Ellie's mic, because then maybe I can see you while we talk.
See me now?
That's more meaningful. Yeah, yeah. Well, can you talk some about how this formed in the first place and how long ago that was?
2000 and
11 or 12 years ago?
He's
Something
pointing
like that?
across the stage
yeah,
at John.
a conversation me and Blum had at Zanzibar one night.
Yeah, we had both just taken up our instruments. I just started playing banjo, and Pat first started playing mandolin kind of around the same time. And we knew Justin played bass, and because he was playing with a bluegrass band around town at the time. And so we, the three of us got together with we had another guitar player and singer at the time, and Pat had another buddy who was a really good lead guitar player who's not in the band anymore, but started practicing in my basement. Next thing we had a gig.
We all had our chord books out in front of us.
Mel Bay.
Yeah.
Right. So so when you all started off though, was this like a pure bluegrass thing, or did you guys start off thinking, you know what, bluegrass is great, but we got to do something, take it to a different place?
A pretty sorry attempt at a bluegrass
Yeah, I think that was our
band.
intention, but it quickly veered from that direction.
But it was an original, it was a bluegrass, quintet or five of us probably. So we didn't have drums. I was playing a regular banjo, not an electric. There was no electric guitar.
We had an acoustic guitar and a singer.
Yeah.
We had another guy played like a resonator, and we all just kind of took turns singing songs, and we played a lot of covers and, turning songs that we knew into a bluegrass format as opposed to playing traditional bluegrass songs.
Yeah, like who are some examples of the artists that you all covered and that you grassed up?
We don't want to mention that.
Oh, really? So, I mean, it's okay. Was it Toto or?
No, just
We did
I don't
a
remember.
pretty good. Was that Tennessee Ernie Ford song we used to do?
Yeah, we did Nashville Blues. Which
Yeah,
was
we did Nashville Blues.
You know,
Oh, come on! You did some classy,
we
interesting
did.
stuff.
We tried, but then we also did like Foo Fighters and it's just popular, almost pop songs. Really, we did CeeLo. The song, his hit at the time, had a cuss word in it.
Can't say it.
Whatever that song was. We did some John Prine.
Ah, nice. John, back to you over there. When did you pick up banjo? Was it at that time were you already grown up?
It was approximately that time. It was maybe a little before. I've been playing guitar beforehand, and it was a class I took here in Lexington that kind of inspired me to take up another instrument. UK offered a class called A History of Bluegrass Music with a guy named Dr. Ron Penn. I don't know if he's still doing it or not.
Ron Penn is alive and well and among us.
Okay,
yes.
His class inspired me, and they bring in a musical act every Friday, and it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. And one time they brought in the Carolina Chocolate Drops, and I was determined to learn how to play the fiddle. And then Rhiannon Giddens told me how hard it actually is to learn how to play the fiddle. And so she basically talked me out of it. So I was like,
Oh,
all right,
really?
how's the banjo? So here we are.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's when you started.
So that would have been 2008. Well, that was the impetus. I guess I probably got a banjo for Christmas that year.
Huh. And before that time, had you imagined playing music as much as you play it now?
hard to answer that, I guess. I think, you know, it's funny. I used to have a couple friends, and we played in like little dive bars, and that's a set that I would be ashamed to admit on the radio. But I can tell you, we did play Freebird and many other Leonard Skinner songs, and all the low-hanging fruit bar songs. But I've always been drawn to it, and you know, it's always been kind of held a special spot in my heart since, you know, driving around listening to Pink Floyd's The Wall in my dad's car and yelling the lyrics, and you know, it just, you know, music kind of speaks to us all in our own ways, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, so Justin, we're not going to leave you out. Since you were one of the original three, you have to step in too. And why don't you pick it up from there? So these two guys, you know, they started doing their thing. How did the band sort of evolve as you saw it? Your side of the story.
So, well, you know, like he said, we started off intending to play bluegrass, but that was never really worked out that way. But that's kind of what drawn me to it, because you know, before I joined these guys, I was playing in just a traditional bluegrass group
With an upright bass?
with an upright bass.
Yeah.
And you know, that was a lot of fun for me. But what drew me to playing with these guys is we could really branch out and try other genres and still kind of keep the bluegrass feel, but you know, just branch out and just try anything. Like nothing was off the table, and that's what was fun about it, you know.
Well, so no offense, but does that mean also the three of you were not in a spot where you had to earn money doing music?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean that,
yeah.
because that's when you can maybe have a little more,
Right.
like, you know,
Exactly.
freedom.
Yeah, yeah. We had, you know, total freedom. We were basically just fearless on stage. We didn't care if we messed up or how we sounded. You know, we just tried anything.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so so we have other players on in the field here. Anthony Lee. Hey, man. Sounds great over
Hey,
there.
how's it going?
Yeah, sounds great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and so we've got Anthony, and we've also got, you know, Arthur, and then Ellie. You're going to come last because, you know, you're the most recent. So we'll come to you eventually. But yeah, so you want to pick it up from here, Anthony?
Let's see, where were we?
We're well, we were at these guys being fearless and crazy,
Oh, right.
just performing, singing whatever they wanted to
Okay.
sing,
Yeah.
regardless of the response.
Right around that time when I joined the group. I mean, I've known all of these guys since high school, so we've been friends for a long time. But I was actually in a funk kind of fusion band with Arthur actually during that time, and we wanted to kind of do something different, and we ended up, you know, playing with these guys and had a ton of fun. And it originally was kind of just a side thing, and then it ended up becoming our main thing. So yeah.
We kind of joined it on a whim. It was like, hey, I saw that Hot Brown lost their guitarist. You want to see if maybe they want us to join?
So, okay. So I'm finding it really interesting that you guys are all you're all sort of not childhood buddies or
Like high school.
starting in high
The
school.
Same high school.
Yeah.
I was just a year under them, so they all knew each other in high school. Actually, Lee did go to a different high
I
school.
went to a different
but
school. Yeah.
We
But
all
I've
we worked at
known-
Hungry Pelican together.
We did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All native Kentuckians.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So the bluegrass, I find it interesting that you continue to sort of, at least in your published materials, which there are not very many of, by the way. In your published stuff, it always references, you know, sort of bluegrass fusion. I, in some ways, failed to see the bluegrass in it. I hear more of the fusion, and obviously we have bluegrass instrumentation, but it sounds more like, I don't know, John Luke Ponty from Kentucky or Return to Forever.
I will
from-
take that.
I love John Browning.
Yeah.
We cover one of his songs actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that I kind of steer clear of referring to us as bluegrass. That's why I'm always like newgrass fusion.
Okay.
Because there was a time, and it was all, like they said, all acoustic instruments, and Anthony and I just joined, and I was using like like wire brushes on the snare and a much more dialed down kit and keeping it quiet and just doing kind of train rhythms and stuff like that. And then eventually they started bringing electric instruments, and I started, you know, I mean, it just took off from there. Yeah.
Justin wants to say
I
something
just
here.
wanted to add, he didn't even play drums before he joined our band. We forced him to learn the drums because, you know, in traditional bluegrass, you don't have a lead singer that's just standing there without an instrument.
No.
They have to be playing something. So
Sure, of course. So why not just choose a simple instrument like drums to sing with?
I think we started, we put a snare drum in
Give him
front
a
of him
snare
to start
drum, yeah.
with, and then and a kick drum.
And they made me do it.
And from there, he just kind of added on, and now you see what's
Yeah.
in front of him now.
Well, like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I think this
Well,
fusion,
Well,
the
yeah.
fusion is more what comes more natural to us as a band than playing traditional bluegrass.
Yeah.
It's just what comes natural with this lineup.
Well, that's crazy, Arthur. I mean, I honestly, watching you play, I was sort of imagining you as a little kid sitting before a drum pad, learning how to do different rolls, and then learning your paradiddles and your, you know, flams and your rudiments and all that stuff, and playing in the marching band and all that. But no, none of that.
Well, I played guitar, and when I joined the band, I brought a guitar to rehearsal. But at the time, it was Anthony coming with me, you know, one guitar, and then there was an already existing guitarist. So we didn't need 3 guitarists in the band. That would have been a bit too crowded.
Well, you would have been like Skinner then, or
Right,
the
right,
Outlaws or something, right?
At that point, I could have just pretended to play, probably. But yeah.
All right, well, look, we got a lot to talk about, but there's a lot of music to play, too. So let's get back to some music. We're going to come back and talk more with the folks in the band, including Ellie Ruth Miller, who is right here. And we're so glad you all are listening to Red Barn Radio tonight, viewing us on our live stream. Let's welcome back Hot Brown Smackdown.
right, that one's called Sludge Puppy. That was written by Mr. Anthony Lee over here.
We're going to play one of our first songs that we ever wrote.
It's all the same. I roll the dice, take a chance at the game. I can get you into my frame. I take my chances if it's all the same. Aha, that's a funny joke. I take a sip, take another toke. You find I'm not like them other four. Tell me another that's a funny joke. You find me in my room. I'll be in my rocking chair, rocking back slow. My time is coming soon. raining, falling all around. You build me up, but now you can't build me down. I go down with the ship, but you find me in my room. I'll be in my rocking chair, rocking back slow. My time is coming soon. Same old story, same old tune.
Well, we've got lots more music and conversation with Hot Brown Smackdown, but I'd like to take a minute to remind listeners of a few important things, John. One being that Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your convenience on the Red Barn YouTube channel. Our live video stream is also available on the weku.org website, as is our audio stream, compliments of WGAD.net in Central New York. Don't miss a single episode of Red Barn Radio, and be sure to tell your friends what it is that you like about Red Barn Radio. Why do you listen every week? Red Barn Radio is dark next week. We return on October 2nd, and our guest, finally, will be Matt Mullins and the Bring Downs. The Bring Downs are an Appalachian, West Virginia rock band that have found a niche all their own. The stories in their songs are honest and gritty. The influences you'll hear in the music really diverse. We were really taken by these guys on first listen, and now they're a mainstay on my Saturday lawn mow playlist. The Bring Downs have developed some new music too, and Matt always has interesting projects going on around his home of Beckley, West Virginia. So join us for Matt Mullins and the Bring Downs, October 2nd on Red Barn Radio. Now let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the city of Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome back, Hot Brown Smackdown.
Sure. Yeah, this is a brand new song. This one's called Hole in a Bucket. I'm sorry, Hole in a Basket. It's so brand new, we don't even know the name of it.
We also don't know how to start it.
Oh, sure we do. Sure we do. Yeah, this one was another one that Pat had kind of a main idea, and he brought it to practice a few times, and we just kind of got creative and ran with it and took it in a million different directions. And yeah, hope you like it.